Hello, folks, and welcome. And this quick video here, we're going to show you how to find or generate your API key for the Empower Network. A lot of times I get asked that question, and picture's worth 1,000 words, a video's worth what, 1,000,000,000 words? So we'll go ahead and do that. So I'm going to log into my Empower Network site here, and if you could just do me a favor right now and turn around so you don't see me put in my password. Okay, I'm putting in my password. So don't look yet. Don't look. If you did look, now you know my password. It's all dots. And it's a little joke there. Okay, log in and start blogging. Now let me kind of show you something here. This is very important. This button right up here, top right. So this is where you kind of log into, right? The top right here, this is your friend. This drop-down box is your friend. That's the main menu here on your Empower Network blog. So this is your friend. As soon as you log in, you're actually here. View my activity feed. Like if I click this now, you'll see we're right back where we started from. Okay? So that's where you're actually in. So what we'll do here now, we'll go back to our friend, the drop-down menu on the top right. There's a view and edit my blog. That's where you start blogging, which you could do text, video, picture blog, view my activity feed, which you've already seen, view my profile. And I believe some of these buttons are kind of like the same thing, but we're just going to drop over here to my account. Click on my account. You'll come up with this page, and you'll see here down on the left-hand side, this is where your member API is generated or viewed, okay? And really, you're not going to give your API to anyone other than someone as if you're working within a particular system. At that point, you will have to put your API into that system so that it can go ahead and see what's going on. But generally, you don't want to give your API to anyone because then they can actually access your account, your list, or whatever. So this is personal information. Also, you only want to generate your API once, especially once you put your API and your API key into a system. If you recreate your API, which is essentially creating a new one, that system will no longer be linked into your Empower Network account. So you'll only want to do it once. So I'm going to move this screen over here out of the way so that this way you don't see what my API key is. And I'm going to click, and you're going to see where I click. So, well, let's bring this back over just to recap. Okay, what we did is we went to our friend button here, the drop-down menu. We clicked on my account, which is my account for me and your account for you, but it'll still show up as my account for you, but it'll show your account. Okay, now it brings this, and we see here member API. So we're going to move this over, or I'm going to move it over to where you can't see my API key, but I will click on that. And let's see if I could move this into a location where I can line this up correctly here. I'm going to move this over just so that you probably see one or two of my digits here. So here's the important thing. Most of the systems that you're going to use, let's say it's Big Idea Mastermind, a Prosperity Team, or whatever system you're using, they're looking for this information, the access ID. So if you see this here, right next to the member API is access ID. Okay, got that? That's a short 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 digit, all numbers. Then there's an API key, which is probably about 15, 16, or 20 plus digits of both numbers and letters, and that's the API key. This here, if you can actually see, is where API is created. That's what this says, API created. So if you're looking at yours while I'm doing this, you'll see what I'm talking about, because most of my info here rolled off the screen. But you'll see API created on that specific date. This here, clickable link, is click here to view the API documentation. You may or may not need to review that. I probably looked at it a while back. I don't remember what it says, or I probably do. It's logged in my brain somewhere, but I couldn't tell you what's on it offhand. And then finally, this green button here, which you don't get to see, I'll read the whole thing to you. It says recreate the API key. This is something that you don't want to do if you've already created it once and you've already entered it into a system, such as Big Idea Mastermind or Prosperity Team or wherever you happen to enter it into. Okay? Because if you do put your access ID and your API key into a system and then you recreate it, that system will no longer be linked to your Empower Network account. And then you'd have to go through probably support tickets for Big Idea Mastermind or whatever system that you're using. You'd have to create a support ticket and you'd have to wait a good bit of time before they can get you back in there. And yeah, whatever system, that doesn't matter. Big Idea Mastermind could be any system out that it's using it. It could take weeks, and then you'll be unlinked to that system for weeks. It could be so. Just tread lightly on that. Now, if you do access this member API and you go to your access ID and it's blank, in other words, you've never generated your access ID and it wasn't generated for you, your API key is blank. In other words, it wasn't generated for you, never generated, and your API key created, there's no date in there. Obviously, you've never done it. I believe then at this point there'll be a button down here somewhere that will not say recreate the API key, but it will probably say create your API key. And that's what you'll end up using. Okay? So hopefully that helps. And let's go back to this. I'll bring my screen back into where we were. And here we are. So remember, this button is your friend. And this is what you want to do often is you want to make sure you go in and view and edit my blog, which is your blog, but it'll say my blog on your thing. And you'll want to blog daily. Okay, so check back and we'll have other updates for you.